It's okay.
It's okay. I love your face so much.
Thank you. I know. I think this is the way I'm going to record the entire time. Do you not like it? Do you not think
Yeah, I think it's perfect.
that it's good?
I think it's perfect.
I just wanted to lay back for a second because my back fucking hurts.
Valid. My lips are so dry.
My lips, yeah, valid. Mine are too.
Dude, my alarm went off this morning, and I was like, ugh, and it woke me up from like a bad dream, and I was like, ugh, I'll just get up and I'll just do something on my phone, and it's okay. And then I was like, oh wait a minute, no, I can't do that. I'll just get up and record.
Yeah, that's it.
Because I think I did wake up to my alarms, but I went, eh. Because I kind of remember just going, no, it's okay.
Yeah, no, it was.
Just
Yeah,
not, yeah.
but it's okay. It's nice to at least only work one day a week instead of two.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just, yeah, I was like, the 4 a.m.s really,
I
really sometimes get
apologize.
me. I mean, it's not your fault. I mean, it is. Actually, you're right. You should apologize because it actually is your fault that you're 3 hours ahead of me.
It
This
is
is
my
your
fault.
fault.
It
And
is.
that's all I can say. How dare you? How dare you move to another state to get your life together and better your life? How dare you? Ugh, it's
Um,
the literal worst.
did you have fun last night?
Yeah, it was good.
Good.
I took really cute pictures of Bruno.
I need to see.
Me,
And
sorry.
then we start.
I know that we derailed the conversation, but at least it's not going to be 40 minutes. Look at him.
You brought him with you.
Yeah. Just like I could stay out a little bit longer.
They still check cameras. Like, have you gotten any texts from them in that sense?
This is him and Kaya because we went and hiked Peters Canyon. Look at them.
They're so cute.
Oh. And then,
Do they get along?
yeah, Kaya gets along with
It's like
everybody.
Kaya gets along with everybody. Does Bruno like Kaya?
Yeah. He's able to chill at the house now, which is so nice. It's very, very nice to be able to like
That's
chill with
nice.
everybody there. Them in the car.
Did you send these ones to the family?
I did. I only sent the ones with Kaya in them because I didn't.
You didn't
Me.
want to send the snowman one?
Oh no, I sent the snowman ones. They actually loved it. They were like, "Oh my gosh, those ones are so cute." I'm like, I first of all love that you thought those were cute because I thought it was just so hilarious. I was
Yeah.
like, literally, I was like, can we get out and you're gonna take a picture of me and I'm gonna hold Bruno up, the snowman.
That's funny.
Yeah, it was good. And also Bruno's very cute and he's very cuddly and very like compliant. Very much like Kaya. Because I was like, oh, if Kaya was here, I would do the same thing. Sorry. These are my kids. There was a lot of dinosaur Christmas. Like this one was at Jurassic Wonderland.
Huh.
I was like, that photo makes it look really sun. I'll actually send it to you so you can see it better. I was like, the light comparatively is just not as good.
Let me see. Do I have any new fun photo?
Forgot to take a picture of his like fur after I brushed it out. Literally, we went to Peters Canyon. I felt like this dog brought back an entire fucking tree. I was like, what happened? You did not you did not go off the path, sir. Where did it go? Oh, look at her. Sleeping.
So sleepy. I
So
know.
sleepy.
Um, Avery's baffled by the amount of gifts that are under the tree.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, technically, yeah, I would be too. Like, you guys are only 2 people. So there should technically only be like 2, 3,
Yeah,
4.
oh no, I agree. My grandma Christmas is an
Oh,
excuse for her to
buy
indulge
you house things.
her shopping
I see.
uh addiction
I see. I
and her
see. Well,
sales addiction.
I love that
Also,
for
I don't
her.
know if I said this to you, but God, this tree is gorgeous.
Wow. Where's that? At the
An
church?
Olive Garden.
Oh, at Olive Garden.
I know.
I love that. Fancy
But
Olive
so Avery and
Garden.
I also have a picture of Percy peeing because
Why? Does
we
it look
were
really big? Is that why?
no, he doesn't drop.
Oh.
So that's why I have it
I mean, some males don't drop all the way.
like at all.
I mean, he drops a little, like you
A
can see like a
little bit.
little
But we were
bit.
like, oh, how odd. Because I haven't
I
had
mean,
him cleaned, and so but I was like, I've probably seen.
have you
I've
cleaned him
never.
before?
Huh?
Have you cleaned him before?
I haven't.
Okay.
Not since I got him, and that's
Have you
been
watched
over a
somebody
year.
clean him? Has he been
No.
cleaned?
No, and that's why I'm like, we want to clean him, but we've never seen him drop. So that's where we're like, oh.
I mean, yeah, but like,
Just go do it, I know.
I was gonna say, I was like, honestly, like, even if he drops or doesn't drop, like, you can still kind of pull it out.
Yeah.
That sounds so.
It feels so weird because when he was younger, he hated like it being touched there. So like I
I
was
mean,
working
so
on it.
valid,
So valid.
but
I also,
also,
but
like,
it
you
was
still
so weird. I was
unfortunately
like,
have to
I'm
like
so
work on
sorry,
that.
sir. I feel like I'm harassing you. I'm not trying to. I'm just gonna be touching your dick, and it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like one of those things where it's like they can't clean themselves, and so it's like a, wow, look at your cute little Christmas tree.
I know,
Very cute.
but Avery's like baffled when we were talking about the like the gifts, and they're like, wow, like we normally got like socks, underwear, a family gift, and like body soap for Christmas. I was like, body soap for Christmas. I was like, hi Avery.
I mean, I mean,
I would love that now.
I was like, wow, those are really practical gifts. I mean, technically, yeah, that's normally what we get as gifts too. We get,
Yeah,
first of all, we do get PJs every year.
as you should. I really want to go get.
Hence, all of the muumuus that I wear. all of those are Christmas PJs.
I really want to go get the at PetSmart. There's dog matching ones where you can get a
yes.
pair with your dog.
Yeah, you
And
need
I was like,
to.
I kind of want to do that for Christmas.
Start a PJ tradition.
Exactly. Matching PJs on Christmas.
Yeah.
But we're still trying to figure out if we're going to church on Christmas or not.
You can do whatever you would like, but I know what I would do.
Because it's also, Avery, my darling, the fact that you've never woken up in your PJs to go down, relax, and open gifts with like hot chocolate or something is quite sad.
I mean, yeah, it is okay to take a break. That's it. It's okay.
But also, if you want to go, that's also okay.
Yeah.
Welcome to our TED Talk.
Yep.
We care about you, Avery.
We care and love you very, very much.
We love about you.
Yes, we love about you.
You manly man.
Yes, that is true. Avery is the man.
She can't say it. It breaks her every time. I also feel like my camera's off today.
I mean, you're slightly more that way than you normally are. I feel like you're leaning more on the table than you
I
normally
feel like
are.
I am, but we could always just walk.
So yeah, I was like, just move the camera a little bit. Wow, look, that's
Aha!
crazy.
Look at that. That's more like where it normally is.
Yeah.
So I was like, I feel like maybe I am closer than I normally am, but that's okay. Ooh, I have to sneeze. That was loud, and I apologize. I have like nail polish here because I took off my nails and I want to redo them for Christmas, but I need to like throw it away. That's
yeah. Half of me is like, I really should invest the time in learning how to do really good gel nails. Or
I love gel nails.
Like the dip nails, because I was like, my nails chip like within like 2 days. And so like I just take it all off and then I just like, you know, do it again. But I'm like, oh, my hands are like just so dry and
Every time I get out of the shower, if I forget to put on my lotion, I get downstairs and I'm like, it feels like my skin is like
burning.
Not necessarily burning, but like if I open my mouth, it just feels like stretchy. Shriveled and stretchy. And I'm like, my face is so dry. I'm so uncomfortable. And my hands are so dry.
Yeah, it's like it's cracking. It's
God. So dry. And also this weather needs to like pick a temperature.
Literally, you're talking to me where it was 80 fucking degrees last week. 80 degrees in the middle of fucking December. And then now it's going to rain. It's supposed to rain all day today. There's a flood watch.
Yeah, it's supposed to be literally raining all week.
Like, that is what's happening. And I'm like, love that. But also, same time, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah, literally. Grace is really sad because Daisy's leaving next weekend and now it's raining. So she won't have any lessons and she won't be able to go ride her horse.
That's really sad. I know it's hard out here because we don't have...
You don't have indoors.
Well, we do. We just don't have as many indoors because we don't have weather here. We have summer and desert cold, and that is it.
Yeah, summer, really hot summer, 3 weeks of rain, and desert cold.
Now we're cutting down to like a week and a half, 2 weeks.
And don't forget fire season.
Oh yeah, and then fire season. I just kind of like lump it all in with summer, like.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, it's just so sad the timing. I'm like, it couldn't have been next week.
I mean, here's the thing: is it might not be as rainy as people expect.
That's true.
Just because it's like a flood watch. Like, I know that it's been really
dry.
Well, yeah, but it's been so foggy. Like, the marine layer is like.
Oh, is it bad?
Yeah. But I don't see any clouds. I just see fog. So I'm like, I can't tell if there's clouds over the fog. You know what I mean? So it's like I can't see what the clouds are doing, but it doesn't smell like rain. It smells like fog. There's a difference. I was like, I'm sorry. Don't care.
It's so baffling because like I can smell weather shifts, but I'm noticing people out here can't smell them as much. And it's weird to me. Like, I walked out and I was like, it smells like it's going to snow. And they're like, really? I'm like, yeah, there's a shift in the smell of the air.
Yeah, like it just
you
changes.
You can smell it. Oh, it smells like it's going to rain.
Maybe they're just like used to the weather, so they don't like consciously think about like the shift.
That's true. Growing up in California for 20 years.
Yeah. And like us growing up.
Oh my God, it's going to rain.
Yeah. Like, I mean, but then again, like, I feel like even out here, like, a lot of people can't smell if it's going to rain.
Yeah, it's wild. You know what my least favorite smell is from rain?
What?
Wet asphalt. I hate the smell of wet asphalt.
Yeah, it's okay. It's whatever. I do like the smell of, like, rain.
I like the smell of rain. I don't like the smell of wet asphalt.
I mean, that's everywhere in California. I don't know.
I know. But it only rains for like 3 weeks a year, so.
Yeah, or less than now.
Or less
Global
than.
warming.
Yeah.
Whoop.
Were there any points that I know that we're just going to probably talk about points as we go. There's not big spoilers.
Yeah, because like these are like not necessarily, we're not really doing like spoiler, non-spoiler reviews right now.
No.
We're just literally going through the episodes and like being like, oh, it was so fun when this happened.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Right? That was my understanding.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Who's starting? I can start it off if you'd like this time, and then we'll just do it that way. Well, because technically this is like a new start. Does that make sense?
New start. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So it's like I can start it off, or did you want to start it off? Do you have like
you
a
can start it off? I don't care.
Call for that? You just looked tired, and I saw your face when I was like, "Who's starting?" And you're like, and I was like,
I just didn't want to make the decision on.
And I was like, "Are you? I can do it, Ashley. It's not a big deal. You seem tired." Ashley, you seem tired.
Purely the decision to start.
You seem real tired. It's fine. I'll do it. It's okay.
You're like, okay, God, sorry I asked.
I did not mean to. Okay.
Stay stupid, Mike. Okay. I know. Ooh, my lower back just like went.
I wish. I do think we should do.
You ready? Ready? I'm gonna do what you just did. Yay!
Me. I feel like your physical therapist is like, you should do yoga.
No, she does not want me to do yoga.
No, I know. Yeah, you literally break yourself.
I did yoga in high school for my physical education, and then halfway through is when I started getting my 3-month-long asthma attack, and so I couldn't do it for the rest of the year.
Yeah, that's valid.
Because I would just die on the floor. But my favorite
You
times,
got louder.
Oh my God. Huh?
You got louder.
Yeah, that happens with you sometimes. You'll be kind of monotonely quiet and then just get louder. But my favorite times, because these hours our class was an hour and a half. Sometimes he would just put on yoga music, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like spa music.
Yeah. And he'd be like, everybody just go grab your mats and we're just going to lay down and do meditation. And I think everybody pretty much fell asleep.
Yeah, that's the goal.
An hour and a half.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is the best. And I love this part of the class.
Yeah, we just have a little nap time. It's like a little nap.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was thinking about maybe I need to start doing more yoga at home or something.
Yoga's hard.
Yeah, I think it's just
for yoga.
I mean, I know it's really different. It's different for us because I am opposite of you in terms of flexibility, only because of the activity that I chose to do when I was younger.
What did you do? Gymnastics?
Dance.
Yeah, because I did dance until I was 6. Then I did gymnastics. Then I did badminton.
Yeah. So by the time you hit badminton, you're not fucking stretching. No offense, guys. Not that I don't think that you stretch in badminton, but maybe you stretch your shoulders, but
Yeah, and your legs, but not in a dancing way. There's a difference.
Yeah. I was like, it's just slightly different. They just really push you to be really, really flexible as much as possible.
Yeah.
So it's and I might as well maintain it.
No,
literally me the entire time. Well, I mean, I worked so hard to get these, so I might as well maintain it.
I can't even, no.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, my middles have gone up. My middles are instead of this far up, they're this far up now, and I'm like, that's so sad. I was like, it used to be like this, and now they're like this. Yeah. I mean, I mean, obviously, I used to be a lot more flexible than I am now, which is so funny to say.
You've gotten older.
Yeah, I was like, which is so funny to say because I know that a lot of people are still you're just still really flexible. Also, did you put my echo cancellation on?
Yes,
Sorry to ask you Great. Thank you. I just wanted to like double check because I know that I'm in this space right now. So
That it's like echoey. Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Oh, the cleaners came and like moved my chair, and I hate when it's like slightly off, and you're like, it's okay.
I
And it's
mean,
like, it's not that big a deal, but then I'm like,
yeah.
I need to like readjust, and I'm like, I have it always set so I can just kind of swing it over and just lift it up. And now
Yeah.
like the chair moved a little.
Yeah. I mean, but also like nice to have
Cleaners, I
somebody to
appreciate
help
it. Yeah, no,
clean
yeah,
you
I'd rather,
like
I'd
clean
rather
it.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
And they've learned to keep
Are
the
they?
blanket on the chair.
I love that.
At first, they would like put it away, and I'm like,
Yeah.
no, that stays
No.
there.
Please leave it. Please leave it on the chair.
I'd
all the
appreciate it if
time.
you left that. Exactly.
Are you gonna get a new chair? Maybe your grandma got you a chair for Christmas.
I just go buy the chair.
Yeah. When are you gonna go buy that chair?
I could do that today.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I just think that you should go buy a chair.
Oh, I agree. You don't think I should be sitting on a plastic chair?
No, I don't. I kind of want to get like those, like one of those ergonomic chairs. Is that crazy?
What
Like,
ones?
like the. I'll send you it. It's
Thank
like
you.
the
I was like,
ergonomic chairs that like, or like have like the weird like sitting stuff.
oh, so I didn't look at the photo. Oh my gosh, the dinosaurs. Oh wow, they have a sign saying Jurassic Wonderland.
Yeah, it's funny.
Happy release day. What?
Like like they're really expensive, but like one of these chairs where you can like sit on it weirdly.
Oh, I would love one of those.
But I also feel like they would not give you a lot of support for your back at all.
No, they wouldn't.
Those are, I feel like I'm like, oh, that would be kind of fun. Oh, there's one with more cushion on it. It's bright pink.
Oh,
Though.
also, I'm gonna film a TikTok and be like, get ready to film blah 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 with us. Just be like, woo, or like wave or something.
You could
And
get
then
a butt cushion, Ashley.
Interesting.
I mean, I feel like that would be nice because it has like the little like lips on the back.
Yeah. Me, do I do the light effect or do I not do the light effect?
Ashley being like, Kaylee, we're gonna film a TikTok, and Kaylee being like, look, Ashley,
Butt
you
cushion.
have a butt cushion.
And I also like how we didn't acknowledge it at all, and then you thought back and went, wait a second. Like, it was just so, okay.
I feel like that does describe our dynamic, though.
It really does. Okay,
I was like, I wish I had a remote for my light. I'm sorry.
Oh, you don't?
No, I don't have, because my light doesn't have a remote.
My on and offs are opposite.
So, sorry. I don't know if I could do that effect.
Do you want me to or no?
You're the only one going to be flashing. So, up to you.
That's true. I don't know. Because it'll give effect.
I mean, I can like cover, not cover the camera. Sorry, I put like a little smudge on the camera now. There, that's better.
Funny. You could act concerned as the light's flashing, and then we can cut it, and I'm gone. And then get a shot of the light flashing, and I'm gone.
Sure.
Okay. Let's say flash. Hello. 2, 3, I leave. Come, and then I'll just obviously be like right there, and then we'll get the shot. How am I gonna get this shot without I could be behind the chair and just like,
Yeah, sure.
hide behind the chair. Okay, ready?
Yeah. I'm sorry. How is this starting? Like, am I
I
supposed
don't
to be like
know.
normal? Are we supposed to be like having a
Like act like we're
conversation?
talking. Yeah.
Like, I'm like, are we starting with the conversation and then it like starts flashing? I'm like, oh
Yeah.
no, Ashley, what's going on?
But they also can't hear you because we
Love
are gonna.
that.
So we could literally talk about whatever we want. Now you just get you laughing. And now you have to
Listen,
act
listen.
concerned.
I am
Ooh.
concerned. Are you concerned? Ashley, read the concern. Ah, oh no, what's happening? Ah. Okay, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I am taking this seriously now. Okay. Serious actor would kick in right now.
You on set. Jesus Christ.
They,
Ready?
yeah.
I still wish this could hide, but it's okay. It's
Yeah, I'm not quite for sure how to fix that at all. It's
no.
the unless we had like a tripod, like unless you had like a tripod or something to like put it on. But I don't know whether or not,
Where to
but
put it.
still, yeah, like that's the thing is like I still don't know where to put it,
Unless
you
I
know?
put it like
Would
there.
it still shoot me in the screen? Because I thought that's kind of what you wanted.
Oh yeah. So if I put it here, it's not going to see me in the chair. It's going to see the screen.
Okay. I mean, that's up to you. Like,
Well, we can always see what it looks like. Oh god.
yeah, it's like it's up to you on like how you want it to look.
Do you like it me holding, or do you want to try that more? What do you think?
Um, honestly, up to you. I think, yeah, I was like, honestly, it's up to you. I don't really,
I was like, I don't want to make the decision, but that's okay.
I don't really mind either which way. It's really what's ever easiest because I'm not there flickering the lights and holding a camera. I don't know if that's difficult. And if
Okay.
it's
I'm gonna say
difficult, then I
this
would
because
put
then
it
we
on
can
the
just take
thing.
the same shot.
Is it the same shot?
Like we don't have to like struggle about me hiding behind the chair and shit.
I'm sorry. Why?
Because now the camera's out of frame, so I'm not gonna have to be like this, hiding, trying to get the shot forward
Yeah, you
of
can
me
just
disappear.
leave.
It's just I can just leave.
Yeah. Okay, so then let's leave it on the tripod because that makes more sense and it's easier and like less
Okay. And it's
demanding.
recording because it's a 10-minute thing. Look at that.
Wow, I love that.
Ready?
Yep.
So Stranger Things.
Stranger Things is so strange. There's
So
multiple things
strange.
happening, and this is why it is
I have to
so
hide the
strange
remote. Dumb.
because the lights go on and off
On and off.
and
I
on and
know.
off all of the time. And then all of a sudden, something crazy happens, and you're like, oh my God, what's happening? Ashley, stop flashing the lights. And I thought this was going to be a good recording. And then Ashley lost it in the middle of it. And then we say, oh no, everybody scream. Ah.
Concerned, Kaylee.
I am concerned, Ashley, but you keep flickering the lights and then you never leave. You're always in the shot. How am I supposed to be concerned if you're always there? The point is I lose you to the darkness. Oh no, Ashley, where did you go? Ah.
Dude, it's okay.
Actually, where did you go? Did you reconnect? See, that was kind of odd. It like rebooted you.
I know it did.
Oh no.
I love your non-concern when I came back. Thanks for making that hard. It's because it disconnected because it electrocuted me again.
I'm concerned about that. Like I feel like it. I don't know if it's your headphones or if it's the box or. Welcome to Cackling in the Void.
My name is Ashley.
And my name is Kaylee.
Let's see if the void echoes back today.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're so excited to be here today because it is definitely a strange episode.
Ooh.
Because we are jumping into Stranger Things Season 1 just for a little chat and review. We're going to review the episodes, but also just let everybody know that there are going to be spoilers throughout the entire talk. So we are going to be not only referencing Season 1, but some things that go through into Season 2 and later seasons.
And we are not spoiling Season 5 for those because have not seen it yet.
Yes, for those who have not seen it.
We are,
at least so far, we're not going to be. We're going to definitely try not to be, but we are going to be talking about Season 5 within our last episode, so make sure you guys are all caught up on that. But I did just want to let you guys know this is not a spoiler-free episode, so this is a spoiler-only type of thing.
Yes, and also Happy New Year's Eve to everybody who's listening on the day of the release.
Yes, thank you.
Happy New Year's finale Eve. Of Stranger Things.
I know. We're very excited to watch it. I'm so excited to see what happens and everything like that. I'm very, very excited.
And we're excited
it's also been so long awaited.
So long awaited. What? It was like a 2-year gap in between?
Yeah. I mean, they had multiple years gaps sometimes in between the seasons too. So
in between season 3 and 4 was COVID.
Yes.
And then 4 and 5 was like a 2-year gap.
Because of the strikes and things like that, which also valid.
So valid.
Fight for those rights.
Absolutely. Please do. But we're really excited, and let's jump right into episode 1.
Yeah, let's jump right into episode 1, The Vanishing of Will Byers, which I really liked they named these titles, because I think some of them definitely do, hit the nail on the head, but they also, I think, give so much context to the later seasons and why certain things are really important. And, obviously, we jump right into the series, which means 95% of all of the main characters are going to be introduced right off the bat. So we see Mike, we see Lucas, we see Will, Dustin. We actually meet Mike's parents in the beginning. We also see Jonathan and Nancy and Holly and Hopper, and we see Eleven, as well as we see Benny, who is the diner owner. Yeah, R.I.P. Benny. And then Steve and his friends.
We got the whole crew. I feel like everybody was just introduced in this big, the first episode.
the beginning episode is always like that, I feel. We see the kids playing D&D. And
that's how it opens. It opens with the kids playing D&D and them all just, yelling about it. And, it just seems so... They're having a great time. And I love how, Mike runs upstairs. And he's like, what? Well, we need to finish. And he's like, it's only been 10 hours. And she's like, you've been playing for 10 hours?
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's hey, this game is going on too long. They have to go home. It's almost like it's school's tomorrow. You got to go. And it's one of those things where it's you're in the middle of this campaign and you want to finish it so bad. And it's well, what do you want to do? This is the last action that we can have. So let's see it. Will, what do you want to do? And Will decides to cast Fireball.
Fireball.
And then he rolls. And then they don't find the dice because Mike runs upstairs to talk to his mom. And so then they find the dice. And then you realize that on the dice, it doesn't hit.
No.
Because the number that is rolled is too low, which I think is I think that the way that they use D&D to foreshadow what is happening within this series is really nice. I really liked it, and I thought it was really fun because you do get to see very D&D party dynamics within the real world.
Yeah, I also really like how it is a way for the kids to kind of cope and think about how and what is happening around them. And we see it throughout the entire series. It's they're still naming these new things after D&D characters. These technically aren't their names.
Yes.
This is not what they're actually called. They don't know what they're actually called, but they're
Mm-hmm.
calling it like a Demogorgon, Mind Flayer,
Yep.
Vecna. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like all of these different aspects are just D&D characters, and it's them just coping with. I mean, this would be a lot to cope with as an adult. I can't imagine coping with this at 10 years old.
Yeah, it's also so interesting to see how young they were in like the
They were
first
such
season. They
babies.
were so little. And so, they're playing
Going and seeing
D&D.
from like season 1 and like seeing
Yes.
trailers to season 5 or
Hmm.
whatever. I'm like,
Oh my God.
oh my
Like some of
god.
them I'm like those are adults now. It's so interesting because it's like oh wow, like you're to the point where like you're losing like the baby like face. Like
Oh
yeah, like
yeah,
you
they.
like there are certain points like within your like early 20s, mid 20s to late 20s where your face does change. It just kind of happens. And so it's interesting to see the actors like change like that. And it's also interesting to see the fact that like people that were already adults have not changed. Like Hopper, Joyce,
Hmm.
Nancy, Jonathan, Steve, they all kind of look the same as when they started because they were all already adults. So it's
Yep.
like we didn't get to see them, quote unquote, grow up.
No,
So,
but it's also like how they did it is like they did change their appearance and like Nancy's hair and
yes.
like
I mean, yeah, to
makeup
keep
and
up
stuff
with the
like that.
times
Yeah,
of
for sure.
of
And
what was
it's
going on and what's popular at
fun to
that time.
see. They did a good job playing like just the maturity of how they're like these are definitely high schoolers to kind of where they are in season 4.
Yeah.
It's very fun to kind of see
Yeah,
like for
I
the
mean, I
older ones.
also
That's what I'm referring to, the older
Yeah,
kids.
I also think like the costuming and the lighting and everything
Yep.
really does put into perspective the time and era that they're in,
Oh,
which
for
I
sure.
really do think is such a great thing. And
They
so,
do a great job at being like, this is the 80s.
yeah, it is.
Like, they
Because
do a great
here's
job
the
about
thing
it.
is like, all the kids get on their bike and it's already dark and they're riding down the street on their
Yeah.
bikes. I'm sorry, but
We
like
don't do that
a lot of
nowadays.
people would not nowadays let their kids do that unless it's like a very like short ride
Especially at
because
10 years old.
uh,
I was doing that at 16, but 16 is very different from 10.
yeah, but it's also like we grew up in more or less the suburban city
That's true.
where back there it is different. It's like a whole
Yeah.
different thing because like when you're in such a small town it'd be easier to let your kid ride their bike to so and
Yeah.
so's house that's like 2 blocks away. It's a
That's
little
true.
bit different, but it's still within the 80s. We see that very like dynamic shift of like the nothing, you know, big things haven't really happened. Not like big dangerous things haven't happened in their town, which is why they feel so safe. So
Yep.
I think that it shows a lot of how safe and comfortable a lot of people feel doing that,
For sure.
letting their kids go out late, doing things
Yeah.
like that. And how much freedom that they have within that. And so we kind of see the fact that Will and Dustin and Lucas are like kind of like racing, but Lucas has to peel off because his house is in a different direction. And
Yep.
then Dustin and Will are like kind of racing each other. And then, we flash to Dustin beating Will and Dustin looking back and Will's kind of like gone. And then we kind of see Will like,
Crash into a tree, essentially. Because he
yeah,
sees
like,
something in the middle of the road. He turns and it crashes into a tree. And
mhm.
then he's gone.
Yeah, and
And
then we just
so
see
kind
like
of
the first
circling.
glimpse of the upside down of him
Hmm.
like jumping into it basically.
Yeah. And
Um
like circling back to kind of what you said, it's this small little town hasn't, and they've said it in the show, this small little town hasn't had anything happen to them, and now look what's happening. Like,
exactly.
this would rock a little town. Like, this is not a, hey, this happened in a suburban city, a kid went missing. Oh, but that's like the, what, 10th today? And so,
Yeah.
like, but in this, which is not good, do not steal children. But
Yeah, please don't.
Please don't
That's
steal children.
not okay.
But
Don't
like in
steal
a small
people. It's
town,
not
it has
okay.
a yeah, go off, Kaylee. But in a smaller town, it has more of an effect. I see your point there.
Yeah. Yeah. It has more of an impact because everybody knows everybody. It is like that, oh, what do you mean?
Yeah.
And,
And then
we see like our first glimpse of Hopper, and he is, obviously kind of like a drunk. He's
yeah.
like a drunk. He like doesn't have his life together. He's late to work. He's like kind of stumbling in, definitely looks hungover, comes in, and then is just like bombarded by Joyce Byers that is now introduced. And she's like, my son is missing. And he's like, I'm sure that he's not.
Yeah. But even Joyce, she didn't realize he was missing all night.
No, because I think it's one of those things where it's like you see the struggle of a single mom
Yep.
right here, right now. She's working late, assumed that her older son was not going to be working late so that he would be home to check to make sure the youngest one got home.
Yep.
And like I understand Jonathan's like thing of oh, well, they asked me to work late, so I did. And then Joyce being like, well, what do you mean? Why did you do that? And he said, well, I just thought we needed the money.
Yeah.
Which, valid. It does seem like Jonathan works to help his mom out so that they can, make, their mortgage payment on this house that they own, So
Yeah, for
it's one
sure.
of those, like, it's a catch-22 of that.
Yeah.
And I don't think that it makes I don't think that it makes Joyce a bad mom.
Oh, absolutely not.
In terms
She's-
of that, like, she's trying her best. Like,
trying.
it's hard to do that,
For sure.
and juggle, work and all of your, like, and your kids and everything like that. And, it's also one of those things where it's like he's done it 100 times. He's done the same thing 100 times,
Yeah.
if not more. It's
And she just
not
assumes at this point that he just spent the night at Michael's. Like, it's really not a huge
Exactly.
thing. And then it does
and
pan.
that's the thing
Oh,
is
go ahead.
she does check.
Yeah.
Yeah, she does call and check because she's like, oh, must have just stayed there.
Yeah.
Must have gotten
And
really
obviously
late
he
and
did not.
decided to stay.
And yeah, and he did
Yeah.
not. And so she's like, huh? And she goes to the police and being like, hi, my son didn't come home. Like, he's missing. And Hopper's like, hey, like, did he go to his dad's? And she was like, no, I promise you he did not go to his dad's. And he, but then it does also pan over to, we're now at like this diner and this little girl in like a hospital gown, like walks into a diner. And this guy, his name is Benny, is like, that's odd. And like gives her a shirt, gives her some food, and she just kind of stares
Well, yeah,
at
because
it.
she tries to steal from like the kitchen first.
And he's like, whoa, 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 whoa. And then he's like, hold on. And so then he gives her some food, gives her a shirt, and then, people come in, and he calls CPS, but then people come, and he's like, oh, you're here for CPS, and then he literally gets shot and, like, dies.
Yeah,
And then
and this is like the
L
first time like you
run.
kind
Oh.
of see
11 runs.
like-
This is L, but...
Yeah, you see 11 for the first time, and then you also just see how like serious like Brenner's agents are in terms of what they'll do and how far they're gonna go.
And then, Joyce gets home, and she gets a phone call, and she's like, "What?" And then, like, it's just, like, heavy breathing type of thing. And then, like, it electrocutes her. And, like, fries the phone, so the phone no longer works. But she knew that was Will's breathing. And, the kids go out and start looking for Will. And they're, like, looking through the woods where, like, the regular bike path. They know their bike path. And they find his bike, and they're like, okay, keep walking. And then they find Elle, who they heard it. And at first, I'm guessing, they're like, oh my God, it's Will, because it's a small child. They're like, no, that's not Will. That's a different person.
Yeah, it's just interesting for them to like find her like that. But
I do
also
think it was a pretty
like,
strong pilot.
yeah. I mean,
It was a
obviously,
good opening.
It built a lot of intrigue in
It did.
terms of what they did and how they built it. I will admit, I think Stranger Things is quite well written in terms of what they do, because this show really capitalizes on the idea of seeing things and not seeing over telling.
Yep.
A lot of it is that, and I think that lends well to the sci-fi nature of the entire series.
Yep. And you're figuring things out as the characters are figuring things out. There is obviously the Stranger Things setup where characters divide. Everybody's doing different things, then you all come back together for the finale and like fight the monster. So it does have a Stranger Things formula, but it's always slightly different every time, and it's always very fun.
You know, and then like we go on to episode 2, which is like the weirdo on Maple Street, which is so interesting that they call this the weirdo on Maple Street because, you know, we know that Mike lives on Maple Street.
Yeah, and they brought Elle to his house.
Yes.
And,
so which is insinuating that Elle is the weirdo. Which is
and
also...
they're like, who are you? Because she's not talking. She's just like overwhelmed. And Mike's like giving her clothes. And like she just like goes to take off her clothes. And they're like, whoa, 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 whoa. No, in the bathroom. It's like she really doesn't know. It's really interesting to see her in season 1 where you could just tell like she did not grow up with like kids and stuff.
Well, she also didn't grow up with a normal family to teach her etiquette. Like, in terms of what she knows, like, yeah, she can talk, but she doesn't really talk like they talk, you know?
No.
In terms of her undressing right in front of them. I'm sure that that's very normal for her. Most people are like, oh, undress so that I can look at you and examine you because she's been an experiment for so long.
Yeah. And it's also really interesting if we go back to season 4 and how, you know, like the kids are like bullying her and things. But like how they could talk so much more than she can. So it's interesting to me how like some of them learn to talk, some of them don't talk. And like not that Elle can't talk, but you can tell that she's still learning words. She's still learning like in that aspect. So it's interesting to me to see the kids being able to
taught them how to read. Like reading and writing weren't really a thing that they did. Because like if you looked at the playroom, like the rainbow room that they had, it was all games so that they could exercise their minds in terms of doing things, like practicing their abilities. It was never like, oh, we're reading books or, oh, we're practicing writing. Like that's the thing is like she didn't get that type of education. She's already 11 years old. So of course she's going to be behind, you know? And it does show immensely within the first season because she is learning so much.
Yep. And, you know, so she goes and changes and she is, you know, they're like, oh, like, why don't you go to the door? My mom's going to help you. She'll figure everything out. And she's like, no, because bad people are after me. Like, I can't do that. Yeah. And they're like, what do you mean? And like, she does, like, she takes her fingers and like, gun. You know, like, they're going to kill people. And they're like, oh, like, bad people. Yeah. And, you know, so the kids leave and Mike takes her up and is like showing her the house, shows her his room, and is like, look, this is the Mandalorian, this is a dinosaur, this is like showing her all of his toys, which is kind of cute, like showing toys, because especially it shows their age. So it's cute that he's like, young. This toy's important, like it's really cute. And then she sees a picture of Will and like points at Will, and it's like she knows him, but then his mom gets home and he's like, hey, you need to go hide in the closet. And she's like, no, because she doesn't want to be trapped in a closet. And he's like, I'll be right back. Like, it'll be just for a minute, I promise. And then he tells her what a promise is, shuts the closet, and his mom comes in, and, you know, Mike's obviously flustered, but handles it.
He's not supposed to be home during school.
No, and he's like, oh, like, I just didn't feel good after Will and everything. And the mom's like, hey, like, that's fine. I'm so sorry. Can we go off on saying how good Karen is as a mom? You disagree.
Yes,
she's oblivious. No. She doesn't understand what's happening. I'm not disagreeing with that. But also,
yes, she is oblivious, but she is a good mom in terms of like noticing what's going on with her kids. Like she's an attentive mom, but she's also like a very relaxed mom, which I think is like one of those like things where you're like, oh, it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like she is like that mom who's there, but like also, you have to understand like Mike's house is like the quote unquote fun house. Like they always go over to Mike's house, you know,
Yep.
all of them do. And it's like Mike's house is like the hangout spot. So,
Yeah.
I mean, she is a cool mom, and she is
But
the only reason why I don't know if Karen is a great mom is because I feel weird. I have always felt weird about like what happens in like season 3 between Karen and
that is
Max's
so
brother.
weird.
I
Billy,
feel
yeah, no,
I
it's awful. I
feel
hate it.
odd about it, and that's
But
why
is
I'm like,
that her?
but then
That's not
the thing is,
necessarily her being a mom. That's just her
no.
being.
Yeah, you're right.
That's
But like
her
here's
as
the
like a
thing.
person, not necessarily as a mom.
But also it's like you see it like the difference. You see the dynamic between Mrs. Wheeler and Mr. Wheeler very quickly.
Yeah,
And you see that it's very unfortunate, but Mr. Wheeler is a very unattentive husband.
for sure.
And that's why like I still feel weird about it. Still feel weird. But I like half of me is like I kind of understand in all certain terms, it's like the idea of like the lonely suburban mom,
Yeah. And
the
it's
lonely
she
suburban
does,
mom that
I'm not saying I agree with what she did. Absolutely not.
yeah.
But she did not go on that date.
No, she
She
didn't. She
she
decided
saw her
not to.
husband and Holly sleeping on the chair
Yeah,
and
and
went,
was like, we
I can't do
can't do it.
this.
Which
So I give her credit for that.
yes.
But I agree it was weird. He is like 18, ma'am. No.
The it was he 18 because he hasn't graduated high school yet.
He graduated because that was summer. He graduated at that point.
Are you sure? Because I
I
thought
think
he
so.
was
Because
the
he's the
same
same
age.
year as Steve, and Steve graduated.
Oh, I thought he was the same year as Nancy.
Because I think,
Because Nancy and
oh God.
Jonathan are the same year,
Yeah,
and Steve's a year older.
I think Nancy was sophomore year in the first one.
Yeah,
No,
so that
junior.
means,
No, sophomore.
yeah, she has to be a sophomore because
She's finishing off her school year in season 4. So she has to be. You're right.
yeah,
Because then it'd
right,
be sophomore year, junior year would be second, and
yeah,
then summer, and then which would be season 3, and then senior year, season 4. So she has to be a junior, but that means Steve was sophomore, and then Steve's junior and senior. He graduates, then she's a senior.
yeah. So
So
I think that he was still. I don't know if he graduated.
I think he did because he's in the same year as Steve, and this happened in season 3. So it's the summer he graduated.
Okay, okay.
But still, he like
So maybe, he might be 18.
He freshly
Um,
a few months ago,
yeah.
just graduated.
I also
So,
understand like he is also like actively pursuing that.
yes, he is.
So it's just like I just feel odd about it. Like
And it's I'm
I
not
don't
trying to
know
be
if
like,
it's I have like in all certain terms, like, yeah, she is a good mom in some terms, but I also just don't know if I necessarily agree with all of the actions that she has taken
I agree.
in terms of like her being as attentive as she could have been with her kids. Like,
She could have known what
there
was
are
going on.
big times where like they just don't know where Mike is or where Nancy is. Like
At
they're
all.
like, oh,
And I know
we
that
just assume that they're there because they're good kids that always tell the truth. You know what
And
I
I
mean?
saw a video of the Duffer Brothers kind of being like, yeah, we tried to portray like Karen and Ted as the ad that was back in the 80s of, do you know where your kids are right now?
That's literally
Literally
I was
what
like,
they
that's
are.
literally what I feel like is like there's strange things afoot.
There's
Do you know where
strange
your
things
kids are
afoot.
at night? When the lights go down, are you there?
Are
Are
you?
they there? Who is there? And it's really that where I'm like, this feels
Yeah.
odd, but also it's like that was the 80s. That was the whole
That was
point
the 80s.
of the 80s. I was like I felt like that was the whole point of the 80s is like because also it's like you have to think about the state of you have to think about the state of the US by that
Yeah.
time. the amount of me very unfortunate. The amount of serial killers that we didn't know were out there were like, having
So it's the 80s. The 80s was like a time to thrive for like serial killers. Because nowadays, like,
yeah, the
there's
70s
serial
and the
killers
80s.
all the time still, but we can catch them so much easier nowadays. Like, if you were a
Well,
serial
yeah,
killer in the
could have.
70s and 80s, that's why they got away with so much too. I'm not saying people
Yeah.
still don't get away with it, but
I'm just saying, like, it just seems like, and also it's like, it's the town. Once again, it's that
small
era
town.
of like that small town. It's also interesting going back just to like how everybody speaks, because I know nowadays, I mean, even like back then, like calling people like weirdos and nerds and all of those things, like were like a really big thing. And I'm
Yeah,
sure like still like within bully culture now, I'm sure it's still a big thing, but it just seems like being a bully back then was a lot more prevalent, like
for
having
sure.
bullies around you and things like that. And it's interesting that they called like this one, like, the weirdo on Maple Street, because we actually see Lucas call Elle a weirdo for the first time. Like, he is the first one that does it. And I like that Lucas is very much like, I don't know if we can trust this person.
Which
And
is so valid
Mike,
of him.
yeah, and Mike is so enamored because it's either Lucas or Dustin that like calls him out right away. That's like, you just are blindsided because this is the first girl that has ever talked to you ever in your
Yeah,
entire life. This is
literally.
the first girl that has ever like acknowledged her existence, and you're just going hard on that. And Mike's like, no, like definitely not. And so it's just so interesting
Yeah,
to
the
see
dynamic
that
between the
like,
kids shift.
yeah, to see that happen. And then when Mike goes back up to the closet and opens like the closet door, like,
She's like crying on the ground,
well,
like
yeah,
sobbing.
because, obviously when she was like locked in the closet, she did have like, once again, trauma response kicks in, and, she gets
Yep.
like those flashbacks of like what happened to her in the lab, which is never like a fun thing to see. And like, you can see like she was quarantined, like she like basically killed some people before like
Because
she
technically,
left.
isn't the
And
opening scene technically the guy running away from a Demogorgon in the lab? And then we see her kill the people. Because she was in the thing, and then they try to, like, keep her down, and then she kills people by, like, shoving them against the wall. Like, this girl has a
yeah, but like
body
she
count.
doesn't do it because the Demogorgon is chasing
Oh, no,
her.
no, this wasn't the Demogorgon one, but
Yeah.
I got
It's
confused.
not the first. You are correct. It is not the first death that we have seen in the series. I just think that it is the first death
I
that we
got
see that
confused.
that
Ill.
Elle, yeah, that Elle commits
Yep.
in the
And
series. So it is interesting to see how quickly Will and
bless
sorry
you.
that Will and Elle. I know. Ashley's like, I'm so sorry
Mike and Elle.
that you are so bored. But
She
yes,
is
you're
so boring.
correct. That
Mike
Mike
and
and
Elle.
Elle build so much trust so quickly.
Yeah.
You know?
Trauma bond.
Yeah, but then also I think like,
He is being not like he is like, hey, like,
yes,
look, I
he's
let you out
being
of the
like
closet, and like,
nice, but it's also like you can tell like he is enamored.
oh,
You
for
know?
sure.
You can definitely tell that he's enamored, and it's one of those things where it's like also like if you think about it, I don't, Elle has never been shown quote unquote kindness.
No, no.
And so like for that to happen, they automatically like build trust right there. And then we see, like we flash to the upside down, and
Yep.
we see Will being chased and being attacked by the monster. And then,
Yep.
we go back to the lab and we see the pipe leading out of the lab, which they think
And
that,
Hopper finds it.
yeah.
Hopper finds that pipe. And, this is when Elle is trying to, like, Will is alive, and everyone is like, I need, and they're like, what? Why do we trust you? And she's like, she goes over to the D&D board and flips it and puts Will's character there. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm confused. So, like, they're just really confused about that, too. And
Well, yeah, because they're finding out for the very first time that there could be this alternate, quote unquote, upside down universe that's out there that I guess supposedly swallowed their friend.
yep. And then it kind of jumps. We haven't seen them this episode to like Nancy and Barb driving and going to a party with Steve, and they're all like, and then like drinking, and Nancy's like, "Hey, can you just like make sure I'm not dumb?" you know, and
Well,
then
it's really hard because it's one of those things where it's like the Nancy doesn't actually say that. Nancy,
no,
I'm sorry. Nancy fully went to that party and
absolutely
was like,
knowing,
I'm probably gonna lose my virginity tonight and I want to
yep,
hook up with Steve.
absolutely,
She's wearing a new bra. Me,
yes,
I'm so sorry. She bought a bra specifically for this thing, and it's Barb that's like, hey, this is not a good idea. I don't
yes,
feel comfortable. We should not be doing this. Also, look at his friends.
we
Like,
don't
look at
like
the
his friends,
characters of his friends and tell me that that's the person that you think is the best. Like, I know that
exactly,
he's hot or whatever, but like, I don't think we should be doing that. And she's like, and then Nancy, knowing that she's still going to do it, it was like, oh, come on. Like, it'll just be so much fun. But half of me feels like the only reason why she invited Barb is to get a ride.
yeah,
I'm so sorry. But like, I kind of felt like that, where it's like
yeah,
I know that Barb has obviously been your friend, but like, also it's like those people make fun of Barb like
yeah.
constantly. And and Barb knows it and Nancy knows it. And, like they openly call out Steve's friends about they're just crappy people.
Yep.
And so it's like the Barb is there like, hey, like, I don't think we should be doing that. So like when Nancy says, oh, like, just make sure like I'm not going to be dumb. I'm just like,
That's not Barb's problem. Like, like obviously like support your friends and like I know you do that with me, but it's also like, hey, like you need to check yourself too. Like this is not fully on
yeah,
you for what
I just
happens.
think that like, I don't like Nancy.
I know
I
you
have
don't.
never liked Nancy. I didn't like Nancy in the first season, didn't like Nancy in the second season, didn't like Nancy in the third season, definitely didn't like Nancy in the fourth season, and I probably won't like her in the fifth season.
Because the fourth season I just watched it and always
No, I don't like her. I don't
she's
care.
she does a felony and like destroys a shotgun and takes off the barrel.
Oh yeah,
She
so cool.
no, I'm going through I'm thinking about what she does. She
No, this is why I don't like her. Because I think that she has a weak character. Not that her character, like, overall written is weak. I just think that
she as a person has a weak character.
yeah, she as a person has a weak character. Yeah, of course. You're like, oh, wow, she's so cool. She's so brave. Like, she'll charge in and do whatever. But here's the thing. She's not a good person because she won't look Jonathan in the eye and ask the hard fucking questions. And then she doesn't look Steve in the eye and tell him the hard fucking thing that she needs to say here. And this
Yeah.
is the thing. It's like yes, I understand like the idea of the wishy-washy thing. But here's the thing is her whole basis of a character is very much summed up between like the first and the and the first season and the fourth season with the conversations that she specifically has with Steve. Not the conversation she has with Jonathan, because with Jonathan, she feels like, oh, wow, like he has bigger dreams than just being a family here.
But it's also so interesting. Yes.
And like her thing is like with Steve is like she wants and desires that family, but she also hates the idea of that because she doesn't want to turn into her mom.
And it's
Which is
also
like the
interesting in the like the parallel to season 4 when Jonathan's like, no, like she wants to go do these things and like I kind of want to stay home and like help out there and like we don't have the money to go to a big college like that, so I haven't told her yet. So it's really interesting to see the parallel there.
so okay, well, with that parallel, I just have to say, with that parallel, it is openly a this is gonna sound so bad. It is openly a parallel of class.
Yes,
It is
absolutely.
openly a parallel of money and class within the United States about, hey, my mom is a single mom. I have been
Yep.
helping and working since I was young, since I probably got into high school, since I probably could work
So
and
I can
help
help out.
supporting my mom. and my
And now I
brother.
don't have the money for college.
And now I don't. And it's like okay, so I could take out a bunch of loans and then be in debt.
Yeah.
But it's also like the
I'm
idea
not
of
blaming Jonathan for this at all.
by that point, Will is so bubble wrapped.
Yeah.
Will is so protected. You know, Joyce will never let Will go because she's so scared of losing her kids, because you see, unfortunately, the anxious attachment style about how much you can't, like but also like as a parent, I'm sure you'd never want to like watch your kids die before you. Like, that's horrifying.
No, especially
And
so,
so,
so, so young. And
yeah,
it's
and it's like the
I
idea of
mean,
like
as we,
losing him so early definitely affected her. But then it's also like on the flip side, you see Nancy not understanding what's going on with money, because once again, they will not have those hard conversations that they need to
won't.
have.
They really
and that
won't.
just shows that Nancy, once again, is also still bubble wrapped in the formatting of middle class America.
Yep.
And that is why
And he has called her out. Like, was it? Yeah, like he hasn't essentially said like, "Hey, like I don't live on Maple Street in a 2-story house.
Yeah,
I
like
live
you
with a
have
single
to.
mom."
Yeah, you have
over
to
there.
understand where we live, what's going on. And it's yes, of course. And Nancy is like, well, money doesn't matter. Like, it shouldn't matter, like, if I like you, like, blah, blah, blah. But it's also like that idea of Nancy never once acknowledges how hard or how expensive college would be for them.
Yep.
Because Nancy most likely is having her college paid for by her parents.
Yeah.
She probably won't have to put out a loan. Her parents will put out a loan for her. Mm-hmm. You see what I mean? And so it's like once again, we're seeing the difference between, oh, am I going to go actually push myself and pursue those dreams? Or am I going to stay here with Steve Harrington and pop out those 7 babies that he wants?
Yeah.
You know, also the fact that Steve wants that many kids is fucking wild to me, but it's
wild.
also like one of those things where it's like that is such a small town thing.
Yeah. We've also yet to see his home life. We've just heard that his parents aren't great.
Well, I mean, in terms of like what it is, it just seems like it seems like his parents travel a lot and leave him home alone quite often because, you know, his dad is doing some, you know, big work or something, and his mom goes with him so that his dad doesn't cheat.
Yeah.
So clearly there was a past reasoning for infidelity.
So it's interesting. And like, it was really interesting to me. I'm not saying that Steve is off the hook for he did really shitty things in season 1, but it is really interesting. Like, Jonathan also, like, he was taking photos of them.
No, for sure. There is
That's weird.
awkward things that happen,
so
like
awkward. And
especially during this party part. Like,
yeah,
during
for
the
sure.
party
And
part, like when they're, you know, back then, I feel like I mean, even now, it's normal to be like, hey, my parents are out of town. Like let's have like a little get together. And then, of course, they're going to be drinking because, you know, there's going to be booze already at the house. I'm sure that, like, you know, his parents drink and like that's where they're doing it. And I will admit, it is weird and it is creepy that, like, you know, because
and it's just so I heard
Jonathan is out looking for Will. That is like the whole reason. And like, he's taking pictures of the path where they found Will's bike.
Yep.
And that's kind of how he like gets down that way, because he hears Nancy scream. He hears somebody like scream, like they're like getting attacked.
And it was because one of Steve's friends was throwing her, not Nancy, his girlfriend, into the water.
His girlfriend and trying to throw her in the pool.
The thing that I've found interesting is, like, I read about it, and it was the reason we all, especially like, you know, 10 years ago, the reason we all, when we first watched the show, were voting for Jonathan and Nancy to get together, or like we're voting like between Steve and Jonathan. We were voting more towards Jonathan because we were already voting for Joyce and Will and like the buyers to find Will. So it's easy to kind of manifest that into, we want the buyers to be happy. This will make him happy. And so it was that aspect. Now, granted, I don't think he should have taken those photos. And like going back on the rewatch, Yeah, not a big Jonathan fan. Again, not saying Steve is off the hook for what he did, and I don't
Yeah,
think
yeah,
he should
yeah.
be with Nancy. But also, like, if you're rewatching it, when the Nancy slut thing happens, he goes back and he washes it off. He does. It takes him a hot second. He does stand up to his friends and is like, "Hey, like, she's not like that. Like, fuck off. You need to go away." And it's
Yeah.
like he.
But here's the thing is like he also didn't, I like the acknowledgement of like, his friend calling him out. Well, you didn't seem to care when I was writing it.
Yeah.
Like, and all of a sudden you do care. Like once you've been confronted and Jonathan hit you over it and like and beat you up and like literally got taken away by the cops. Like that's the time that you say it. Like now you're saying it after all of that stuff occurred and like,
And I'm not saying that's ideal. He should have said it way before. But he needed the wake up call.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
It's one of those things for me is like I don't think that any of them should be together.
No. I'm not saying I think they should be together. I'm just saying it's really interesting going back and like rewatching it and going, you're right. Like, yes, Steve was an asshole. Jonathan was also an asshole, but Steve wasn't as big of an asshole as we all thought he was.
Yeah, I think like it's one of those things where it's like I never disliked Steve, but like in the first season you can definitely tell that Steve is supposed to be the opposition in terms of what's going on because like for the most part within the series the popular kids are like bullies,
Yeah.
And you can also see that like Steve is a bully.
Oh,
because
for sure.
After the party and after like Barb disappears, which they don't notice that Barb has disappeared until they get to school.
Yep.
And so after things occur, the only reason why they know is because Jonathan was caught developing, the photos.
Which now we're going into episode 3.
Yes, which now we're going into episode 3. Because, they like find, because, a girl like walks in on him and then they tell Steve and then Steve, his friends and Nancy go and like harass this guy in the middle of a parking lot.
No, granted, I do think it was okay for them to like tear up the photos.
Yes, absolutely.
That's fine. But dropping the camera.
Take the photos. But yeah, dropping the camera.
That was
like, it's also like the physical tussle. The physical tussle that happens is like one of those things where it's like I feel like unfortunately like that happened quite often. Like people didn't know how to necessarily express their emotions and like they just kind of like went to like the immediate like, oh, I'm just going to take it.
In this time, not that therapy didn't exist, but it was very taboo.
Yeah.
And very much not a big mainstream thing like it is today. Absolutely. But if we also look in season 1, Steve goes to apologize to Jonathan. That's why he's at the house for the Demogorgon. He goes to apologize to him, and then he's like, "Nancy, why the fuck are you here? What is happening?" And they're like, "You need to leave."
Yeah.
And then
it's also just like hard because like like we get to the point where like we find out that Barb's missing. Steve confronts him, pushes him, and then we cut to the idea of like the boys and Elle like wandering around the house and things like that.
Yeah, and like the boys go to school and Elle's like do 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 do, and like she sits in the chair because Mike showed her the chair, and then she's like watching TV and she's changing the channels with her mind, and she watches the Coca-Cola can ad, and which was so bright, oh my god, and then it kind of flashes back to her like destroying a can with Dr. Brenner, who is her papa. That's this Papa character that we keep hearing about. And then, it kind of jumps over and, what's her face? Joyce is like, finds Christmas lights and like, they start glowing, not connected. And she like hides a certain place underneath like a desk by the wall. And she's like, Will, like if that's you, like twice for yes, once for no. And so it's like, yes, it's him. And so she talks to him through the lights and she goes to the store, grabs bunch of lights, puts A, B, like the alphabet, the stereotypical Stranger Things thing that we all know, and it became such a big thing for like Halloween and stuff like that. And so the alphabet, the letters, and then run, and then we see like the monster coming through the wall, And she's like, oh my
Yeah.
God. But then we also see Will. That's the first time we see Will once
In the
again
Upside Down.
because he's in the wall. And she's like, Will. And she runs and he's not there. She comes back and he's there. And she's like, how do I get to you? It's like, I'm trying to get to you. So she knows he's alive. It's confirmed now.
Yeah, that he
And
is still alive, which is so which is a really big deal
exciting.
because obviously we've been have been searching for him, even though there's so many things like going on. We do see Joyce constantly looking for him, constantly harassing
Absolutely.
Hopper, and then Hopper actually taking this seriously and like really looking for certain things.
Yeah. And then you know, Elle leads the boys. She's like, oh, I know where Will is. She leads the boys to Will's house. And they're like, well, one, how did you know this is where he lived? Two, he's not here. If he was here, and she's like, no, he's here. He's hiding here. And so then they see sirens and everything pass, and they're all like, oh no. And then they
Yeah.
go and bike, which can we talk about the score for that scene was so good.
Yeah.
I have
So
such
good.
I grew up like pianos and like stuff like I grew up in the very much like the musical like music stuff for 15 years of my life, and my dad's very big into movie scores, and so like I'd sit and listen to movie scores with him, and so like it's a big thing for me still. And like there'll be times when I'm driving and I'm just like I need to listen to some of my favorite movie scores loudly in my ears.
Yeah.
And so like this is one of them where I'm like, yeah, this is a great score. Like I loved it, and then I love how they all get there and they're pulling a body out of the water in the quarry, and I love how Hopper's like, please don't be the kid, please don't be the kid. And you see his heart just sink when he sees
Yeah.
that it was Will. And it's so sad. I loved Hopper's performance in that. And then I actually love, as much as it wasn't great, but like it made so much sense how mad Mike got. Like he's just upset
Yeah.
that his friend died. Like that's his best friend.
But it's also like the idea of like, earlier we saw how mad Lucas got because Lucas is like, you are literally pushing us around in circles. Like you're the one moving it. Like you're like not like actually telling us like where he is.
Yep.
And honestly, it's because she's scared,
Yeah.
And so it's
And then
like once they pull the body out, it's just like oh my gosh, we were too late.
Yep. And then we get to episode 4, and Joyce immediately is like, well, that's
body.
not my bot. Like, that's not my kid. And
Yeah.
yes, it's called The Body. And, she, like, and she's very much like, no. And Jonathan's like, Mom, you need to stop this. Like, you need to sign the papers. Like, that's him. That's his body. I saw
Yeah.
it. And she's very much like, I need to see his birthmark. I need to see this. He has this. He has this. He has this. And she's like, that's not him. I refuse to sign the papers. And Jonathan's upset. Understand? She's like, you need to stop this. Like, I get everybody at this point is very heavily grieving, and we're seeing how they all grieve very differently. And, they're all kind of back at Mike's house, the kids. And 11 is using the radio, and she ends up finding Will singing one of his favorite songs that he was shown by Jonathan. And Hop does end up going to the morgue, and they're like, oh, like, yeah, the state police have taken over this case, and like they're watching over the body. And Hopper's like, that's weird. Like, why would the state police get involved with this? Like,
But
it's
then
a
also
little
it's
town.
like why are they posting guards out to protect this body? Like that's so odd.
And it's also, I remember, as you said in episode 1, like he's a drunk. Like he was not doing great. And so as the course of the season, you see him slowly kind of starting to get out of that. And, so then it kind of hops back to the Hawkins lab, and we see someone in like a full suit, like full suit, go into this like hole, like a red hole in the wall that's like gooey and like gross. And they go in, he's attached to something, so they can pull him back out, and he goes in and he ends up getting eaten by a Demogorgon and like dies. And so like once again we're seeing how dangerous this place is. And
but then also we're seeing for the very first time the first like big open gate that we know exists into this quote unquote parallel universe that we now know for sure that you can go in and out of. It's like one of like the very confirmed, and also it's like oh wow, they're doing experiments.
And then the kids are at school. They end up bringing Elle to school in like an outfit and a wig, and it's really I do want to point out, like, how I loved how she looks at herself in the mirror and goes, like, oh, like, because Mike calls her pretty, and she looks in the mirror and goes, pretty. Like, because she's probably never been told that in her
No.
entire life. Like, that's so sweet to me.
Yeah, it's
And
like one of those things where it's like the going back to the idea of like Elle has never seen kindness before.
yeah.
Nobody
And
talks to her nicely.
he brings them she goes to school with them, and because they want to use in the AV lab or whatever it's called, and like the big radio
The
to see if they
AV
could
club got a new radio.
yeah, and they want to see if they could find Will that way, but then they end up getting ushered into like a meeting
Assembly.
thank you. I was like, the word for school meetings, the assembly for Will, and the bullies are just like kind of laughing and like, oh, like makes sense, blah blah blah. And then Elle afterward, because Mike confronts them and he's like, hey, I don't think it's cool that you're laughing about my friend dying. Valid, sir. Valid of you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So valid.
I would also get into a
I also
like that.
don't know if I would be able to sit through an assembly like that at school. If it was like my friend.
No, I could not. I
wouldn't be able to do that.
I could not sit there and watch other people's faces who didn't know that person.
And it's they're acting like they care and they really don't because they didn't know. And they're like, it's sad,
or
but
like them laughing.
Yeah,
I would just be like, no.
I wouldn't be able to go there. Especially like if this is like my best friend. Like even if it was just a friend, but like a best friend, absolutely not. I would not be able to. I'd be like, I'm so sorry. I am not going to be in that assembly. No, I will not be there. But then Elle ends up making him pee his pants, and everyone's laughing at him, and they kind of go away. And then it kind of jumps back to Hop breaking into the lab, which then brings us to episode 5, which is the flea and the acrobat, which Hop is now like sneaking around the lab and like keeps finding like goo that's been like as he like goes further into different parts of the lab, and he does end up getting caught. He's drugged, and then when he wakes up, he's in his trailer, and he's like, oh fuck, like god damn it. And he literally strips his entire trailer trying to find a bug, and he finds it in the ceiling lamp. And he goes to Joyce's place. And I do love how, like, she's tired. I mean, this woman is so sleep deprived. Like, she is not doing great.
All she's doing is trying to communicate with her son to see where he is. And, she's like, also now she's waiting on him to call.
That too. And he, and also trying to plan a funeral on top of it, which this funeral happened so quickly.
Yeah. I don't think Joyce planned it. I don't think so either. I think it was Jonathan. I think Jonathan planned it. And it's so, also, it's like the hard dynamic that is now introduced is we get to see the ex-husband as well.
Yeah. And Hopper does come over because he knows now, like, hey, I need to check her house for bugs. And I do love how he, like, gets there and he holds up a paper and says, quiet, don't talk. And, like, he looks around and he sees all the lights and just that, oh, God. Why? Well, yeah,
because a lot of people do think that Joyce is, like, crazy. Like, she's losing her mind about this.
Yeah, but for this, it wasn't her losing her mind. It was, oh, my God, we have to take off every single one of these lights to check for a bug.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, God. And, like you said, we see Joyce's ex, who, not a great person, not a fan.
Yeah, we finally meet Lori, who is Jonathan and
it's Lonnie.
Father. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. I mean, he only comes in for a second.
He does.
But it's also just like the idea of like, he comes in and he's like, oh no, because like he realizes that there's a hole in the wall because Joyce rips a hole in the wall because she thought that Will was behind it,
Because he was a minute ago, and now he's not because the gate closed. And so he is there, but we also really see how Lonnie encourages her really bad habits, like drinking and like everything like that. Like he encourages her to kind of like he's in quotes saying like, oh, you can't do this, like let's get you out of this funk and blah blah blah, but he's encouraging it and like really making her check out and start drinking. And like we see how the dynamic really shifted for Joyce. They go to the funeral and all of them are there, and then the boys and Elle kind of start looking and walking for the gate, and they're using the compass because they notice that the compass, or Dustin notices, he's like, but that's north, but this is saying this is north. And so he's like, there's a stronger magnetic pole. So they all start going there, but they notice that it's no
They're
longer
just
pointing
going around in
to,
circles.
yeah. And Lucas is like, well, look at her sleeve. And because Elle, when she obviously does her powers, her nose bleeds, and she'd been using her powers to change it so they wouldn't go. She's like, no, it's too, like, we can't go there, like, it's bad. And they're
Yeah,
like,
it's too dangerous.
and Lucas gets really mad. Again, understandably so. He doesn't trust this girl. And
Yeah.
she, like, knocks him out by throwing him with his powers. Mike gets really mad at her. So now she leaves, and it's a whole thing. And then Lucas leaves, and, like, it's a whole, like, it's a fight between the kids. And
Yeah, I mean, which I also like, I think I would be upset too. Like, if you were
absolutely.
like, oh, I don't really know this person, they come in and we're supposed to trust you right off the bat. Not only that, is you're supposedly helping us find our friend, and yet you're steering us in the wrong direction.
Yep. Yep. And we skip back to Lonnie, and we find out that he's kind of only there because he wants to get money from his son's death.
Yeah, he
Which
wants
is
to attempt to
wild.
sue the Corey.
Yep. And which is wild, sir.
Yeah,
And
and you know, Joyce immediately kicks him out. She's like, I can't believe that you would like get out. Like I thought maybe you were going to be here to support me, but actually you're
you
not.
weren't.
Like
Yeah.
no, get out. You
Yeah.
know?
And we never see him again.
Yeah, we don't really see him after that.
Yeah.
So.
And then, Jonathan and Nancy are kind of out and about looking in the woods because of the photo, because they found the photo with the monster in it with Barb, like behind her.
Yes.
In one of the photos.
Yeah, it's interesting because, after they bully him and like rip up most of the thing, Nancy does pick up the photos and take the photos. And so she
puts it together.
Yeah, she puts it together and things like that. And, somehow Jonathan like comes with her.
Yeah. And they find a dead deer and it gets like literally like dragged away. And they're like, that was weird. And Nancy finds a tree with like a hole in it and is like, huh, and like walks through it. Now she's in the upside down. And Jonathan now no longer knows where she is, and he's calling for her. And I saw a video of him saying that was one of the hardest things for me to say because I was really working on my American accent and I could not get the nah. Like it just, the accent was, and I was like, that's quite funny, sir.
I mean, I feel like in terms of dialects and things like that, transferring over to certain things that, like American Standard is difficult for some people to master only because we have very, very hard consonants compared to other dialects, like in the English language. Like,
and we're also very much like, we don't have an accent, and yet obviously everybody has an accent.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Like, and especially like
that's crazy.
In different states, there's different accents too. Like,
yeah, you have a California accent.
Absolutely, I do.
That's why we go out and everybody's like, "Oh, where are you from?" Because they can tell you're not from here. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and so
that is just a thing.
Yeah, it's like I have an American accent. You have an American accent. Wow, how shocking.
Yeah, but like specifically, like even like within traveling in the U.S., like a lot of people can
exactly
tell we're
where
from California.
Yeah,
like, and so it's one of those things where it's like even when you go outside of the U.S. or you're like trying to like get like a British dialect or anything else like that, that's going to be harder because you now have to relearn placements of vowels and consonants depending on where it sits within your like mouth.
And then we jump into episode 6, which is called The Monster. And Nancy ends up being able to go back through the tree and out of the upside down. And she's like, holy shit, this is what I saw. And Nancy and Jonathan spend the night together at Nancy's house. Jonathan was going to sleep on the floor, but he ends up sleeping in the bed with her. And because she's like really freaked out. Again, understandably so.
Yeah.
But
interesting how she's freaked out and she doesn't let Jonathan go home and she doesn't call Steve.
It is very interesting.
Just saying, just throwing it out there. Yeah. And it's I understand, like, some people would be like, oh, well, of course she didn't call Steve because she didn't want him involved and, like, Jonathan already knows, so she doesn't have to explain it. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. But once again, it's like
that's her
lack
boyfriend.
of
Communication, ma'am.
communication, conversation. But also, like, yeah, like you said, that's supposedly Steve is your fucking boyfriend. Like,
And like there also could be the aspect of she didn't want to be alone for that time where Jonathan was gone and Steve would come. But Steve does end up coming to the house
yeah.
and
And he
he
tries to sneak
sees
into her window like he has done in the past and does see, Jonathan and her sleeping in the bed together.
Yep.
And obviously that sends Steve into a spiral because he's like, oh, clearly this girl's cheating on me, which is crazy because
And
I'm
he
Steve
is
Harrington.
quite
I'm
smitten
so
over
popular.
Nancy too.
Yeah, and I think it's because he openly says it, like,
She's not like the
she
other girls.
challenged him in many different ways because she wasn't like the others in certain terms. Like, she really did challenge him in terms of the way that, oh, what do you want for your life? Is this small life everything that you want? Are you
Yeah.
going to go get an education? She openly pushes him towards college.
Yeah.
There's certain things that Nancy does that I think does push Steve to grow.
Yeah, especially like if we go back to I think it was the first episode where like she wants to study with the flashcards and he's like, "Well, how about we do this instead?" And she's like, "No, like I'd really just rather study." He does back off.
Yeah.
He does say like it challenges him to be like, "Hey, like I'm not always going to get sex
Yeah,
or like what I want," which is in that aspect sex. He wants her. But
Yeah.
it's the no like, "Hey, I would rather if we just study right now." And he's like, okay, then, and he grabs his flashcards and helps her study. And I'm like, good job, Steve. Slowly growing, and then you be dumb and help your friend. Don't stop your friends from writing slut on the thing.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where it's like there are certain terms of like I said, you can see that Steve, as the popular kid, is the bully, and now we're like really trying to like, right now we're at like the peak bully part.
Yes.
About Steve, because like, yeah, like we see Steve bully like Jonathan and like about the photos, but now Steve sees him sleeping with his girlfriend. Like, that's not chill.
No.
And like, yes, everybody can defend it and say, oh, well, they didn't actually do anything.
No, but it's still like, how would you feel if you walked in
But the
and
look
you
of it is
saw?
bad.
It looks bad. Like, I know that
It
if I
looks
came
bad.
over and I saw Avery sleeping with somebody, I'd be like, and they didn't tell me. That's a
Yeah,
big
and
thing. It's
also
like
it's
it
like
wasn't told. Like, hey, I could like what she could have said was, hey, something happened. I'm okay. Jonathan is spending the night because I need his support. He was there.
I mean,
Or something.
she
Like,
kind of
communicate.
tries to say that.
Can you hear that? It's a lot of thudding. Avery just got up.
I mean, no, I didn't hear anything.
Awesome. Unpause. Continue.
Oh, well, now I hear that. It sounds like Eclipse.
I think it is. Continue.
Yeah, no, it's just, it's almost 7:00 here. So
Yeah.
the light is, like, I can see the light shifting.
You're like, it's coming, Ashley, go.
Yeah, like, we need to.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love you and I love everything, but, like, we have light problems.
Yeah. No. Okay. Unpause.
Yeah, I mean, she does try to tell him. She does.
But it was
like, kind
after
of
the fact,
try
and
to
so that
tell
makes
him.
it harder.
Yeah, it is after the fact, which does make it harder. And, like, of course, Steve doesn't believe her because it's hard to believe somebody that, like, in all certain terms, like, I do feel like Steve is a little butthurt because he still hasn't gotten it.
Yeah.
She
Well,
hasn't
at,
actually-
at this point, they did have sex.
That's true. They only had sex once, though.
Yeah. But I think it's also really, really hard for him if we're going along the theory of his dad cheated on his mom. And so, like, he's seen it. He's seen the effects of it. He sees how, and so he's probably a lot more in tune and aware of that type of shit. And so it probably
Yeah.
affects him. I'm not saying, like, it would affect anybody.
I
'cause
mean,
that
I also
shit sucks,
think
but
that, like, it has to do also, like, with the age that they're at.
absolutely.
The age that they're at, the fact that they are teenagers, the fact that this is happening. And it is a little bit more scandalous because Steve is like, the popular cool guy that everybody wants to date, and Jonathan is the weirdo freak that hangs out alone, who has no friends. And so it's like, it's not only like the layer of like, oh, I caught you doing like this very like weird thing, but then also not only that is now all of a sudden this dude who was never in your life is now all of a sudden like really closely attached to you.
Yep.
And it's hard because it's like the Jonathan is an outcast already. And so like the social hierarchy of popularity and outcast are very much highlighted within the entire series. And we can see it through the whole series of this.
Yeah. And so it kind of skips towards the kids, and Lucas is refusing Mike's apology because Dustin's like, man, you need to apologize, Mike. Like, that was on you. Like, like, apologize. And then Lucas doesn't accept it. And then we skip and we see Elle stealing Eggos from the supermarket, which we also have found out that she was only supposed to grab like 1 or 2, but she went in and grabbed as many as she could and walked out, and they kept the shot.
Yeah. Which I love, like those like little like happy accidents like that just like are those like actor choices that you're like, no, I think we would grab more.
Yeah.
Or just like the confusion of the shot of like, okay, you're going to go in and then grab the Eggos and go. And then you're like, all right, well, I guess I'm just grabbing Eggos now,
And then we see the kids at the quarry. We see them, and then, because they're looking for Elle, but Dustin also they're looking for Will at the same time. And
Dustin and Mike are.
And then the bullies end up coming, and like the bully has a knife. Like, this man, like he's not playing around. This kid is not playing around, and he's threatening to like pull out Dustin's teeth. He's like, "Oh, you're finally getting those teeth. Let me pull them out again." Or like, because Dustin has a condition that and he
which I actually kind of like that they make.
I do too.
Like a point to say it in the very, very beginning.
I do too.
About like this condition. Like I think it was like kind of nice to like highlight that.
I do. I love it. And the bully's like, well, Mike, how about you just jump over the quarry? Like, I won't do it if you jump. And it's like the kid is literally telling him to go kill himself for his, and Mike's like, okay. Well, like, he doesn't want to, but he does. He does jump off, and then he's floating in the air. 11 brings him back, and then she like breaks the kid's arm, and he runs away. And I do love how Dustin's like, well, she's our friend and she's crazy, like so happy.
And he's like, yeah, like she'll come after you too. And like, because it's also like, if you think about it, like this is the first time that this is the second time that they stood up to these bullies, but this is the first time that they quote unquote like won.
Yep.
Like they were like, oh wow, like we are bigger than this. Like that's like, oh, we do have like a fighting chance, almost.
Yep. And we go and we see, and now we know it is Elle's mom, that Hopper and Joyce go to visit her because a reported kid was missing, and they find out that like the mom kind of went crazy. And like she still believes her kid is alive because she went through a lot of experiments before she knew she was pregnant. And then the baby was stolen from her. And she's like, oh, yeah, I believe my kid has superpowers. And, like, it's a whole thing. But she also can't talk. Like, she's just kind of in a rocking chair, just, like, not doing great. And it was a whole thing. But they were doing experience on mothers that were on, like, LSD and, like, stuff like that.
Yeah, it's interesting, like, how Elle came about because, obviously these women were... were pregnant, and they were doing certain like types of drug testing to make these kids, come out with special powers. But it's also interesting because, like the idea of, oh, now like Terry is kind of a vegetable.
Which is really sad.
Yeah, you see it.
It is really sad.
The amount of power that Brenner used and abused to hurt other people to push his own experimental games forward is so prevalent within the entire series. Like, you see it. It's the, oh, why can she like not function? It's the, oh, the, electric shock therapy, used too much will make people a vegetable.
Yep.
So instead of like giving her a lobotomy, he literally just did that.
Like fried her
it's
brain.
like yes, and like fried her brain. And so
Yep.
it's very like oh, okay. So like that's not a thing. And you can kind of hear her like rambling through the thing. And
we do see her in season 2 again. And then we kind of get more of what the rambling was.
Yeah, when she meets Elle, but like, in terms of like Joyce and Hopper seeing her, it's very much like, oh, this kid must exist, must have powers.
Yeah.
As well as where is the kid? Like in terms of like, we know that she's running around Hawkins, but like where are all of these kids,
Yeah. And then, Nancy and Jonathan are getting ready to fight the monster. Like, they go to the store and, like, get tons of shit to fight the monster. And then Lucas is outside the laboratory, like, climbing a tree looking in. And then Mike, Dustin, and Elle are looking for Will. And that's where that episode ends. And then episode 7 is called The Bathtub. And Lucas realizes that there's tons of cars leaving the Hawkins lab and like radios them. It's like, guys, like the bad men are coming. I repeat, like the bad men are coming. You need to get Elle out of there. And they're outside of Mike's house, and Mike runs up to his mom and is like, Mom, did you order electrician? Because that's the big, like, that's what they kind of disguise themselves under.
Yeah, because like there's an electrician truck like outside of their house.
Yeah, and that's what they disguise themselves under. And she's like, no, why? I'm like, okay. And he just runs away. And she's like, Mike, like, why? Like,
yeah, like,
poor Karen is not told anything. And they meet up with Mike. So they all bike out. And they all meet up with Lucas on a bike. And they're all like biking and like, trying because they're still die.
And now like they're at this point they're being chased by vans.
Yeah.
Like so like they're being chased like in vans, and like they're attempting to go further and things like that, and to not get caught, Elle makes the decision to use her power and does flip over the van to block the other vans.
And they're like, wow, that's so cool, because that would be really cool. And then obviously like the agents are now at Karen's house telling them like, oh, like there's this kid, and like convincing them that Elle is dangerous at this point. And like
because they've never met Elle.
No. And they're trying to find and aren't they all stuck in a school bus at this point? Like they hide their bikes under, and they're in the school bus hiding. Yeah,
they're in the abandoned school bus like by the junkyard, because they're trying to hide because they now have helicopters. Not only do they have vans, they have a fucking helicopter.
Yep. Too. And then Nancy, Jonathan, Joyce, and Hopper are now kind of all teaming up and like, hey, where are you? This is Hopper. Please answer. And on the walkie-talkie. And so they all kind of meet up. They come and get them. And they all go to the school. And, Ella's tired, but she's like, hey, like, I can find them. But I need, like, a pool. Like, I need water. And then they're like, and salt. And they're like, well, how much salt? And Jonathan's like, well, I know where to get a lot of salt. So they end up going to the school, bring a kiddie pool. And the amount of salt these kids, I know we just talked about it, but like the amount of salt that these kids have stolen throughout the entire series is probably like 10,000 pounds. Like it's not a small amount of salt.
It is not a small like amount of salt. And it's also like the idea of like setting up your own like sensory like deprivation tank like that. Like, yeah, you need a lot of salt to feel like that, It's just like, that's part of it.
Oh, for sure. And they, she goes in, and like they're in the gym, they fill it up, and it's everything like that. She goes in, and she sees Barb dead in the pool, like in the pool at Steve's house, and she tells Nancy, and Nancy's obviously very sad.
Yeah, very distraught.
But I also love how Joyce is like, hey, like I'm right here, like if anything happens, I'm gonna pull you out, like you're okay. Like the mom is there, and
Joyce is there being like, hey, like if you need help, like I can help you find it. Like just breathe, you're doing great.
And she says, like, she found Will. He's alive. And, like, they know that there's the gate at Hawkins now. And so then Joyce and Hopper go to the lab, and they get caught. And Nancy and Jonathan go, and because he was taken in for custody because he literally beat up Jonathan because of the slut thing.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that happened in this episode.
Yeah. Jonathan beats up Steve like right after they got the monster hunter things.
Yep. And then the police are like, why do you have these things in your car? Like, that would be a very odd thing to have a cop see. Like, oh, well, I don't know if you'd understand, but that's okay.
Yeah.
So then, and it was kind of valid for Jonathan to be mad at Steve for being okay with his friends doing that. That's valid.
Here's the thing: is it's like I don't think Jonathan.
But I also don't think we should ever get into like
necessarily
physical fights like that.
For like in some motivation, it was like I'm doing it for Nancy to defend her honor.
Do you think it was an excuse for him to do it?
But also, it's like you have to understand like the taunts that were like also thrown.
Yes,
at him. You're a weirdo. Sure. You're an outcast. You're never gonna go anywhere. You're nothing but like a fucking loser that's gonna die here in a fucking hole.
He does say he is also called like the F word and like made fun of for being gay, and I'm like, I don't think he's gay.
But like you have to understand,
like the time, absolutely, yeah.
I mean, we don't say it now because we know that it's a slur. Mm-hmm. It's an offensive slur. But back in the day, saying that people were like, I can't say it. Saying that people were fags was like a big thing.
Yeah.
Like, calling people weirdos and retarded and like they're fucking faggots was like a huge thing.
It's huge.
Huge thing.
We don't say those things anymore.
Disgusting. I
hated that.
That was
so
awful. Gross.
That's awful.
It's like my least. It is. I don't like saying it because I just think that it tastes weird. Like it sounds weird. Like, and it's an uncomfortable word to say. Like I would rather say moist like 8,000 times. Yeah.
To me, moist isn't an icky word.
Yeah, I don't know. A lot of people find it very icky, but I find that word extremely icky. And so it's like the bully culture back then was a lot more like, I don't know, very clearly stated.
Yeah.
And so it's just like the idea of like, yeah, sure, of course he hit him because he wanted to defend Nancy, but it's also like the idea of like
he had a lot of pent up.
Yeah, I was like, when you look at Jonathan's character and how he's able to release things, because, obviously you can tell that the reason why Joyce and her ex are not together is because he used to beat them. Mm-hmm. So, like, it is the idea of he had so much pent up anger. By that point, like, I also think that Steve deserved to be hit at that point.
Absolutely.
Like, something needs to happen.
Knock the sense into him.
Yeah. And that's essentially what happens.
Yeah.
Essentially, he gets the shit kicked out of him and he's like, oh man, maybe I'm a bad person. Yeah. Maybe I shouldn't be a bully and maybe I should stick up for what I actually think is right instead of being a follower and just going along with whatever my friends want.
Because that's what he was doing.
Yeah.
100%.
And it's the one of those things where it's like you see him confront his friends after, and his friend does call him out and it's like, well, you should have said something while I was writing it because you didn't have a problem then. But now all of a sudden, because you got beat up by a loser, you have an issue. And now you need to, quote unquote, supposedly assert your dominance. But I could beat you into the ground. Like if Jonathan could do it, I could definitely do it.
Yeah. And I do like how he doesn't yell at his friends. He's just like, fuck off. Leave me alone. Leave Nancy alone. He doesn't yell. It was just the quiet understanding of, I need to stand up for what, like you said, I need to stand up for what I believe.
Yeah.
You guys are not that. And you guys are in the wrong, and I don't believe that. And then he does go over, because it was on a movie thing, like, the old movie things. Yeah, and then, which they're still around, I see him still here. But the guy's like, did you have any issue? Like, a part of this, he was like, I really just want to help clean it off. And he goes up and he cleans it off himself.
Yeah, which I think is great. I think like that is the start of Steve's sympathies building. And we're at that point, we also see, going into the next episode.
Yeah.
Forgetting the name.
The Upside Down.
Wow, that's crazy. Like, going into episode 8, the Upside Down, after we see, Steve do that. Now we're like, cutting to the house with
No, we're going in the lab, and
sorry,
Brenner's
yeah.
trying to
Now we're going into the
manipulate
lab
Joyce.
because Joyce and Hopper get captured by the end of
Yep.
that one.
And he's trying to manipulate Joyce with words, and then Hopper's over there literally being like beat.
Yeah.
And Hopper
Because,
makes
the
a
idea
deal.
of convincing Joyce that I am a good person is easier.
Yep.
But Joyce and Hopper have done a lot of research, so she knows.
Yep. And then Hopper makes a deal with Brenner, and he and the,
So
what do
when
you
Hopper makes like the deal with Brenner, it's very much the, hey, I will go
oh
into this dangerous area. We will never talk about it again. I'm going to get this kid out and we're going to leave
yeah,
and we're not going to
okay,
say anything. And
yep,
that's the deal. It's the, we're going to walk in, the two of us, get this kid out, dead or alive,
yeah,
and we're gonna leave. We're just gonna walk away. And Brenner kind of jumps at that because at this point, not a lot of people not a lot of people want to go in anymore. Like you immediately die. But then it's the idea of, I feel like that like deal really sparks Brenner's interest in the terms of, can somebody still live in there? Can
but
somebody come out
also
alive? How
another
long
part
can they last in there?
exactly, and
How
then
like
another part of the deal is he gives up Elle's location.
Yeah. And then he tells him where Elle is,
Yeah,
which is obviously who they've been searching for this whole time because Elle is such a pinnacle part of not only their research, but also the plan that they have like moving forward and what they want to do with her. They
yeah.
wouldn't be making super children if they didn't want to use them for some nefarious reason.
Exactly.
So,
And then it kind of skips to Nancy and Jonathan setting up the house to get ready to fight for a Demogorgon.
yeah,
And
so they booby
they,
trap the entire house. Like
yeah,
it is one of those things where they booby trap the
they do.
entire house, like
And
very
then they
Home Alone
cut
style.
open, yes, it is Home Alone style. And they
Yeah.
cut their palms to like lure it because blood. And Steve ends
Yeah,
up
because it's
coming
lured
over.
in by blood.
Yeah, and Steve does end up coming and being like, "Hey, like I just want to apologize, man. Like I'm sorry." And then Nancy's the one that opens the door, and he's like, Nancy, what are you doing here? Like I just came to apologize to Jonathan. Like
Yeah.
what's going on?" And then she's like, "You need to leave," because she's now frantic because she know and the lights start flashing, and she's like, "You need to leave, Steve." And he's like, "Are you okay? Like are you safe? Like what's going on?" He does end up being like coming in and like
Yeah.
and then the monster comes through the roof. And did you see Steve's like jump over this stuff? Because it was quite funny.
Yeah, I did.
Thank you. I just needed
But
to
it's also
acknowledge
like
that.
I love the fact that that was like like a big choice. Like it made you believe that there was something coming through the roof, that it was that terrifying and that scary. And I like how like, obviously Steve is used a lot as comic relief throughout the first like part of the series. In terms of like his character arc and things
Yeah.
like that, he is used as comic relief, and so it is nice to have him like in this scene be like a silly, goofy, like shocked guy.
Yeah, like, oh
You
my
know?
God. Because that's, I mean, I feel like not being informed, very valid reaction of what is
Yeah,
happening.
like really not informed. Like Jonathan and
And all of a
Nancy
sudden,
understand what they're getting into, and then all of
yeah.
a sudden it comes through, and you're like, what is going on?
Yep. And I do love how he's like, hey, like, yes, he's obviously, his first reaction is like, why are you here at Jonathan's house? And then he does switch to like, are you safe? Like, what's going on? Like, dude,
Yeah.
like, and immediately he's like, I came to apologize, but he sees the look in her eyes and he's like, what's happening? Because, I mean, that would also be my first reaction of what is he doing to you? Because he doesn't
Yeah,
know that
or
there's a monster coming.
or it's like what are you doing here? Like, are these rumors true? Like,
And then Hopper and Joyce are now in the Upside Down and they find Castle Byers and they burn it.
well, yeah, because like they realize that it's kind of like infected with these like alien eggs or pustules. They're not like quite for sure. So they just like burn it down to the ground, which is
Yep.
an interesting choice that they make.
And they find out that the wall between like the Upside Down and the Byers house is really, really thin.
Yeah.
And they do end up walking through the Byers house and they see like the people that are like Nancy and everybody see the
Hmm.
lights turning and like walking as they're
Yes.
walking there, and they're like, "Wow, how interesting!" And they didn't know, but they're kind of like,
Yeah.
"I don't think that's the Demogorgon.
Normal.
That's not
Yeah.
normal." And they do find Will, and he has like a tentacle in his mouth, disgusting. And
They
they
do.
pull it
Yeah.
out,
Hmm.
and they give Hopper CPR, and it flashes back to They give Will CPR, and it flashes back to Hopper and his daughter getting CPR because his daughter had cancer and ended up
Yeah.
passing away, and that's why he was a drunk in the beginning and all these things. And so like this is why I think this case was such a big thing for him, and
Yeah.
he,
Losing a child is
oh
something that you never want to see. You
no,
know.
and the fact that he went through that, and then so as he's giving the Will CPR, he's like, "Come on, kid, like." Please. And I do really love how it shows his flashbacks and how like
Hmm.
you see him like sobbing in the hospital
Yeah.
stairwell. Like it was, yeah. And so it makes
Yeah.
sense
And
on
it's
why
also
this is
like
such a big thing for him.
yeah. And you also see like the marriage breaking.
Yeah.
You see it.
And so you like you said, you see the marriage breaking, and it's
Yeah.
heartbreaking. And you see Joyce
Yeah.
like sobbing. Like this is a very intense scene. They're
Yeah.
very good at those bringing in the action emotional scenes.
Hmm.
They're
Yeah.
really
I
good
mean,
at it.
Winona Ryder is
Ugh, she's so good.
just yeah. She is a great, brilliant actress, and I
She
like
is.
though her performance in Stranger Things is absolutely amazing.
And then like season 1, she's constantly crying and like it's like she
Yeah,
does
and it's
such a
like you
good
see
job.
her like constantly being panicked, and it's
Mhm.
not. And it's one of those things where it's like even though she is playing that like really high heightened emotion and you're seeing her panic, never once did I ever feel that it was unauthentic.
Oh, for sure. And I love shows. Good God. I love shows where you feel like these characters are real. Like
Hmm.
if you saw them in everyday life in the 80 in the 80s and stuff, like you'd think, "Oh, yeah, yeah, like that's just Steve." Like I love
Yeah.
characters that feel so real. And I can name, I mean, multiple things that have done that, but this is definitely up there that they do a good job with that. And it's, like the script is fun because it makes it like, hey, look, like, yes, this is a serious show trying to figure out what the fuck happened to this kid, but here's some high school drama that is very authentic to that age and stuff like that. But
Yeah,
also
yeah, yeah.
tying it into this. So it does a very good job at making it grounded and real in a very sci fi heavy show.
Yeah. I will admit, like, it seems so real. Like, they did such a good job of making it believable. And I just think that, like, the actors really did that as well. And you really do see that throughout the entire show. And even in, like, Hopper's flashbacks, like, you can see it.
It's
Like
weird
you
seeing him
really,
without a
really.
beard.
Mm,
I can name 2 instances. Okay, I hate to do this. In Black Sails.
I was waiting for it because like
You're
when she
waiting.
brought up oh my gosh, the characters are so great. I was like, okay, where's the plug? Where is it?
I'm
Because
not. I know. I
she has
didn't do
been
it there. No, no. This is what I'm gonna
like
say.
she has been like pestering me about this series.
I have.
And to the point where I don't even want to watch it anymore. I'm like, yeah, no, I don't care. Like just out of like pure obstinance, I just don't want to do it. It's gotten to that point where it's like I love that you love it, but now I'm just like I don't know if I want to watch it just out of pure obstinence.
Yeah, I know you don't, and I know you probably won't, and that's fine.
The
But
obstinance because
the
she's gonna plug this show for the end of days.
I
So
am
get ready
because it
for it.
deserves it. But no, what I was gonna say is like there's a character that has a beard, and then you see him without a beard, and I genuinely thought it was like a different person. Like I was like, is that? I'm confused for like 2 episodes.
I don't know.
It
Like
really
Hopper
threw me
without a
off.
beard like doesn't really bother me.
It doesn't bother me. It was just I was like, oh, like noticeable. It's very noticeable. Not the most noticeable, but noticeable.
I don't know. I disagree with you on this.
Okay. You don't think it was
only
noticeable?
because I don't really like it's the yes, okay, you can see that the beard represents him becoming quote unquote more rugged. You know,
Yeah.
he lost a lot of weight when he went to prison. You know, throughout like the series, he's like called fat. Like Elle openly is like, oh, you're fat. Like,
Yeah.
look how round you are. Like,
Yeah.
like they constantly play jokes like that. And so it's like him with a beard and him without a beard, I don't think makes a difference for me. But also I do think he's going to end the series without a beard.
Okay.
Because I think him without a beard,
He's a very long
like,
beard right now.
it's more of like oh, we can go out in public, like I am like your father figure, and we are a family unit that can go out in public.
Yeah.
I feel like the beard is more of like you said, like this distraction thing, like to hide, like to help hide his identity,
Yeah.
quote unquote. We put air quotes around it because he looks like David Harbour looks the same in it regardless.
Yeah. You could tell it's David Harbour. It's not like
yeah.
Is that a different actor? No. You could tell
No,
it's
no,
him. For
Yeah.
sure. So then, he does end up living. Will is alive. And
Yes.
like there's just
Will comes
breath
back
of
to
like
life.
from Hopper, from Joyce, and like just this breath, and like Joyce is like sobbing with tears. Again, she does a phenomenal job.
Because here's the thing is like I feel like Joyce went into that fully expecting her son to be dead.
Oh, absolutely.
Fully expecting to just come out with a body. And the fact that they didn't was an immense relief for her and her character. But then, as we're seeing this and as we're like we're in the upside down, we're still at the point where Elle is now out of the pool and they are running from the like secret agents that Brenner has hired to capture them around the school. And not only that is now Nancy, Jonathan, and Steve
I'm trying to distract the monster too.
Yeah, have injured the monster, but the monster has now gotten out and is like running through Hawkins.
Yeah.
Which is like one of those things where you're like, oh shit, that's not what we wanted. But also like they did get close and they injured the monster quite heavily.
Yeah.
And so by the time, they're chasing them through school, Elle is like trying to like fight everybody off and they realize that, that the monster is in the school now too. Not only are these men chasing them, but like they have this monster chasing them.
Yeah. And Elle does kill a bunch of the men. Like it was actually quite intense. Where like their eyes and everything kind of started leaking blood. And then she just, turned her head as she does, and they all just like and died.
It's very interesting because when you watch season 4 and season 3, specifically season 4, when Vecna like becomes like more of a highlighted part,
and like how they die and like click.
Yeah. But like you see the flashback of when they first like were in the rainbow room and like all like he like murders all of those kids.
Yeah.
And like Brenner comes in and like thinks that it's Elle, but it's not. It was one. It's Vecna.
It's Vecna.
Henry.
Vecna Henry 1.
Yeah, Vecna Henry 1. It's him, and you notice that that's also, the start of the way that he kills too.
Yep.
So it's very interesting how that is like a big part of it. But not only that is like, you see her eyes by the end of that bleed too. Out of like just like the sheer like intenseness of the power. So it's interesting that their powers are very similar in certain ways. And, we do see that parallel. Like that is like a big parallel through the whole thing because, obviously they're like, oh no.
Yeah.
What's going to happen?
Yeah.
So.
And
interesting that it happens that way.
Really interesting. And how it is such a, when they use the power, they're going to bleed.
Throughout the entire show.
Yeah. Like there's got to be blood. Doesn't matter on who.
Oh, absolutely. It is one of those things that is just like a reoccurring thing that happens.
For sure.
But as
and, like,
these,
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it was like, but as like the kills go on, you see that Elle tries to shift what happens.
For sure. And it's interesting as you see her shift and then Vecna come in and just do it the same way. Like, very interesting.
Yeah, it is. It's very interesting. And now, we're at the point where like, yes, Elle does kill these men in the school, But, you know, we're getting to the point where, like, the Demogorgon is getting closer and they're realizing that only Elle can kill this thing. But she's
Yep.
so exhausted at this point. She's overly exhausted because she was in the, like, in her mind in the Upside Down trying to find Will this entire time. Then she wakes up and then is running for her life,
Yep.
hiding, and then also using her powers to, like, evade these people and to get rid of these people from chasing her. And then now at this point, we're so burnt out that we're not really getting anywhere. And it is very obvious that she is almost to the point of breaking. She does look over at Mike and she does say, you know, goodbye. She tells Mike goodbye because she doesn't know what's going to happen. And Mike is obviously there, like, watching, and he doesn't want this to happen because obviously we want them to go to the snowball together.
Yeah, because he asks and he's like, and I love
Yeah.
how she's like, yeah, you know, like you go together. She's like, as friends? Well, not just friends. I'm confused. Like,
Yeah, because here's the thing is, like, in her world, the dynamic of having a boyfriend or having a friend that is more than a friend was never something that she was raised with. It's like, it's a foreign concept because she's never heard of it in her life before, you know? Mm-hmm. So, like, that is, like, it is, like, one of those things where you're like, oh, like, Mike is extremely smitten with Elle.
yep.
And so it is interesting to, like, see that, you know, and to see how, like, the heartbreak is because, you know, they were supposed to go to, like, the snowball together and it just kind of, like, blacks out. Like,
Because
you
like
see
she does
her,
go and like kill the
yeah,
Demogorgon,
you
and then
still,
it eats
yeah,
her.
yeah, you see her, like, kill the Demogorgon and then you see her collapse and then, like, you know, it blacks out, like, fades, and then we time skip forward.
Yeah, and then we see Will in the hospital, and like they're trying to tell Will of all the stuff that happened, and he's like, What? I'm
Yeah, they're
confused."
just so excited that he is awake because he was in the hospital and, like, basically kind of in a coma and, like, not awake.
Yep.
And so to see him awake is so exciting for them. And, you know,
Yep.
they're trying to, like, bombard him with everything that's happening. You know, they play D&D for a little bit and, you know, that
Yep.
also once again foreshadows what is going to happen next, which once again, love the motif
I love it. We
of
also
this
do see
game.
that Steve was with Nancy for Christmas, and
Yep.
he got Jonathan a new camera.
He did. Steve gave Jonathan a new camera because he broke his camera, which is really nice of him. That's very sweet. But also, like, you kind of see, like, Jonathan being a little bit of a creep and being like, man, I wish that was me. Mm-hmm. You know, like, I wish I could have that,
Yep.
you know, and
And we also
it is
see
like
like, okay.
that is sad, but it's also like you know, we go to the buyers and, like, you know, yeah, Jonathan wishes that, like, he could have been with, like, Nancy and things like that, but also it's like the idea of, like, having your kid brother, having your mom be so happy,
Yep.
you know, cooking all
And
of this food,
yeah, and
preparing
like
dinner.
how he's preparing dinner, and like they're all like
Yeah.
really excited, and it's so sweet, and how Will's doing okay, and then but
Yeah,
then he
yeah.
does
Where
like
it, like, seemingly it looks like Will is doing okay, you know, and then, like, we see Hopper at, like, the police station, you know, having their Christmas party, and he's like, "Oh,
yeah,
I'm just getting leftovers," you know,
yeah,
and then, like, walking out, and then him putting the leftovers in the woods, and that's, like, the first sign where we're like, oh, maybe Elle didn't die,
yep. And
you
then
know.
we
And then
jump
we
back to the
cut back to the
buyers,
buyers.
and Will goes
Yeah,
to the bathroom and like barfs up a slug in the sink. That
yeah,
looks very much from the Upside Down, and we go, oh damn it, oh fuck.
yeah.
But he goes back
And
to
then
dinner.
yeah, I mean, he also, like, flashes back into the Upside Down for a second, and
The
then he
trauma is
just, like,
real.
yeah, and then he just comes back to dinner and, like, sits down, and, like, that's where season 1 ends, which is one of those things where it's like I really liked the first season because
I
I
did.
thought that it's laid out so nicely the sci-fi elements as well as where we're expecting the characters to go, what motifs are extremely important, like in terms of they foreshadowed the entire first season in the first scene of them playing D&D.
Oh, they did. And they do it every season.
And they
if you
do
pay
it.
attention.
And so it's like the things to like keep in mind is like obviously like watching the D&D scenes are really important.
Yep.
I also love the fact that this game brings them so much comfort, and you see later on that it also brings Elle a lot of comfort. The
I also
idea
really... Go ahead.
using that format to explain hard things that are happening around them.
Yep, I agree. And I also love how the first season could be a standalone season. And how it is so, like, where we are at season 4 is huge. I love how, like, small town, a kid is missing. We're just figuring out this very, not small mystery, but small mystery. And, like, I really love how small it is. And I like seeing the scale get bigger and bigger and bigger. But it is nice just having this kid is missing, what the fuck happened?
Yeah, seriously.
And so I remember it wasn't my favorite season as a kid. I watched probably the first 5 episodes 7 times. I just could not get through it. And then I did, and it was fun. Like,
Yeah, I will admit I didn't start watching it until the 4th season came out because
Really?
because at that time they advertised the 4th season as being as being the last season.
Oh.
It was supposed to end at season 4, and then they decided not to.
One more season, yeah.
Because I really did not want to watch it until it fully came out. I was really like adamant that I didn't want to watch it until like it fully came out. And so as it was advertised as being the last series, like the last season, I did start watching it when the 4th season came out.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
And then I was extremely upset that I was like, I thought it was supposed to be ending here. What the fuck is this?
Lucky for you, it ends in 8 days.
I love that. I cannot wait.
I can't wait to see. I really hope that they nail the ending. I'm going to be really upset.
Oh, I think they will.
I think it's going to be okay.
They will, with as much like work and production as they've been putting in, as well as just the way that they filmed it. Like, yes, there is eight episodes, but each episode's like
It's
2.5
so big.
hours.
Yeah, it's huge.
Which I love. I mean, maybe it's just my age. I don't have a short attention span, so I like watching
I like the
long
episodes.
media. I know that it is actually like talked about within media about how they're like, oh, we got to make videos shorter that are more grabby because people don't pay as much attention, which is also why like the other idea of, oh, we have to say it out loud because our audience is dumb and will not pick up on subtext.
I love the
or, like,
subtlety and stuff like that. Like, give me the visual and subtle cues, please. It's so good.
And I think that Stranger Things does that quite well. Yes, of course, some of the things are just immediately spelled out, but I do think that they give the audience a lot more visual cues, which I think, really like skyrockets it to one of the better modern sci-fis out today.
I agree.
And I do think that it's one of those things where it's like this series, depending on the way that it ends, will be very similar to Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Because Game of Thrones really did revolutionize like the idea of what fantasy television could be and how popular it could be.
Yep.
And I do think that sci-fi has been around for forever. But also it's sad to me in all certain terms that, sci-fi and horror are known to be genres that not a lot of people enjoy. Yeah. And or a lot of people are like, oh, it's unrealistic or it's cheesy or there's not like like you get like the flip side of like, oh, it's too scary.
Yep. I have a couple of friends that are like,
there's like, it's too intense. I can't watch it. And it's one of those things where it's like you get the people who are like, oh, I hate horror because like it's cheesy and it's unrealistic. Or you get the people who are like, I hate horror and sci-fi because it's scary. Yeah. And so it's like you get like that very like wide dynamic of it. But I think that in terms of what they're doing with modern sci-fi and the way that it's being introduced and having more of that visual fear factor is, I think, a lot heavier than being like, oh my God, it's a monster.
For sure.
You know? And I do think like they did it really well. Comparatively to like other like modern sci-fis.
And as you could tell, the cast is having fun, and like a lot of it
Yes,
is
you
kid
can.
actors, and like obviously they're kid actors, but they're doing a good job. They really are.
They really are doing like a great job. It's kind of like when the movie It came out, like the recent movie It came out, and you were like, oh, actually, wow, those kids did a great, phenomenal job in this series. And I just think that, I feel like it's unfortunate, but I don't think that sci-fi or horror gets as much love as it really deserves.
It doesn't. It really doesn't.
And so I really do think that, Stranger Things could and is becoming just as big and revolutionary to the genre as Game of Thrones has been.
I agree. In a different way, but I agree.
Yes, definitely
Obviously.
in a different way. We all know how Game of Thrones ended, so, that's why I'm saying, as long as they end it well,
it'll be great.
It could be really, really good. And I do think that they are going to, just like the way that everything is ramping up.
I agree. And with that, I had fun. This was fun.
Yeah, I had
First
fun.
TV
Thank
show.
You guys. Yeah, I was like, I know that this was like still a lot of review. We're like still like trying to get our pacing and like where we want to go with like things like this. But thank you guys so much for joining us. Make sure to like, subscribe, follow, hit all of the buttons, subscribe to our email list as well. So we have some like fun little things over there. As well as we have a Buy Me the Coffee. So if you'd like to support us in any way possible, we do have that linked in our bio. We really do appreciate anything that you guys are willing to do. Even just listening to us, we greatly appreciate it. We love you guys. And the last thing that we really have to say to you is...
What did the void say to you?